Good night, sir.
Hey, Mikey, what's up?
I'm good. I'm good. What are you doing?
Giving thanks, man. You're out quickly, man, not early.
Well, I was late the last time, so for make up for that.
Understood, totally understood. Sorry, I need to change my location. My birds are giving me so many for talking. Soon come.
All right.
Yeah, them sometimes they just get a little excited. I just got in, so when them I think they're kind of excited. Started what we call noisy, can't bother with them sometimes. All right. Have you gotten all the grades already for last semester, or you have grades outstanding? You saying you received all the grades?
Just Mr. Walder grade and project management, Mr. Vassal grade has not come in as yet.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Walder said they send it to Mrs. Williams and
Only two.
yeah, she's supposed to
Mr.
work it.
Vasley say that's Francis
Yeah, Francis Vassal.
Vassell.
Yeah.
What about Miss Williams?
No, she said
No,
last
is it
night that
Francis Vassell you're talking about, right?
yeah, his grades, his grades is out. We haven't gotten that as yet. Project management.
And Francis Vassell talked about project management.
Yeah.
I'm sending my WhatsApp now. PROJECTNAGENT for the year 3. Students. Send a copy of the project management.
But Miss Williams said that she got an email from Mr. Walder our grades, so she was going to work on it last night, but we still haven't seen anything of it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just see a message that I need to the plan. Give me half a second here.
Okay, so no problem.
Hello, Miss. What's up? Is it today's Christmas? At what point in time do we say happy belated Christmas, Michael? Asia, what time?
1 week after Christmas.
1 week after Asia. Asia, when do I say stop saying Happy New Year?
Sir, exam time.
Exam time, like December exam?
This exam.
Oh, this exam. Oh, because I don't know. I'm seeing a DD here and I don't know who this is. I think I am a smart lad. I think I'm smart. But I don't want to. You think I should say happy belated Christmas and Happy New Year? I don't know. Can that DD person spell out the name for me, please? Or at least a good evening? I'm sorry. I know you've unmuted, but I can't hear you. Can anybody hear?
Nope.
Good evening.
Good evening, Dee. Am I to make an intelligent guess to say that this is Miss Dan Dowding? Would that be a safe assumption? I can't hear you, love.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, good. Happy belated Christmas and Happy New Year. And I think outside of class, you and I need to have a little conversation. Welcome though. Welcome. All right. I know Paz looked like he now come today because I'm supposed to vex with me because in the city, sir, you can send some questions. And I said, yes, Paz, I'm going to send some questions. And then the truth of the matter is I then got distracted. Good distraction though. Got distracted trying to finish off my exam submissions. And then when I remembered, the tiredness came over me and I said, let me just go and take a 5. And then the 5 took like about a couple of hours well. And but don't worry about it. It is going to happen. I have with me if I can find it, I have with me a past, oh Lord Jesus. Come on, where it is? I know I had the paper, past papers. Let me see if I see any question on it. All right. I'm going to be sharing my screen here now. I have not yet done the question. I had paper before. So when Paz asked for the past paper, some past questions, I knew I had this and I wanted to share this, but the truth of the matter is it has been a rough period. Now, the point I want to bring across though, your questions are out of 30 marks. Question 1 says, an environmentalist recorded the amount of time motorists spent in traffic at a location 3 peak hours on a Tuesday evening. The frequency distribution below summarizes the result. And they give you the class, and they gave you the frequency, and they're asking you to determine the arithmetic mean of the time spent in traffic. That is all of 5 marks. And then they're asking you to calculate the median time motorists were in traffic. Remember, we just start the course, and already you can go on an exam paper and do 10 marks. Tell me if that's not good. Talk truth.
Yeah, that is true. All
right. So, and as I said before, we just really get into it. So I'm not even going to project the other parts of the question because we don't reach there yet, and I don't want nobody to say, sorry, I can't do that. So I'm just putting the questions in snippets. All right. So I'm going to leave the question here. We're going to spend a couple of minutes. I'm not one who is particularly concerned about it. It's just a few of you. So I know if needs be, and I say, here the plan, guys, we need for me for one day for just finish off something. I know I can get it. I know I have a relationship with you guys. But what I want to happen is to go through this stuff, right? And Dan is here now. And I'm sure she don't know what it is that we need to do. So we need to do the question so it is that she can be able to pick up on what is happening. Your recordings are up, so then you need to go on the YouTube to get the recordings so you can listen to on the discussions, the many discussions that we've had. So start this for me, please. I'm going to be here, but I'm going to mute. I've not yet done the question as I told you, but I just want you to give a start to it. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Go ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
Oh, sir, one question.
Go
before
right ahead.
They work out the frequency for us already.
They have worked out the frequency. Yeah, no, that's not a problem. So they work out the frequency. So you don't have to do a tally. But what do you need to do now?
Estimated mean.
No, but right.
The
So
midpoint, it can work
very
out the
good. So you have to do
midpoint.
the midpoint. And what else do you need to do?
F of X
Very good. Multiply the midpoint by the frequency.
frequency.
Excellent. Yeah, man. You saw that, Asia? So and this is what I'm saying to you. In the question that I gave you, you had the raw data to put in the class. So you can do the tallying. The tallying is only really when you get the raw data. But if they're presenting a data like this, they're not going to give you the tally. They will just go ahead and give you the frequency. So when you're doing up your table, you're not going to have a tally column. But of course, you should have a midpoint. And you should also have a column that speaks about your frequency times your midpoint. And then you do your addition, so forth and so on. Yeah, very good.
Sir, quick question.
Shoot.
All right, so sir, when you calculate the estimated mean and the figure you get is close to two of the terms in the frequency, how you work that out now? Would you have to, like, I say the when you're calculating the median, you look for the closest term to the 8th and the 9th, as you said in the earlier class. So I was wondering if, say, for example, you have two of the same figure in the frequency, say 9, as they say there, and the figure is saying the mean is like 8.9. How you work that out?
It's not, remember, no, the mean is, when you look at the question, to calculate the mean, no man, you would have calculated the mean. The mean is 8.98. That's what you get to the mean, though.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the median now, you wouldn't have to take in consideration the mean to identify the group, they call it the class interval that you'll be looking at.
What they ask about is the median they ask about.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Go ahead now. I just wanted to check something. The median. Yeah, so when you do the median, yeah, what you do now?
All right, so the class interval 4 to 7 is 9, and 8 to 11 is 9. So the mean is 8.9. So I was asking if that would impact the
remember, I know exactly where you're going, but I want you to see the error that you're making.
Yeah, we just see it.
Yeah, you're calculating is it the median you're calculating or the mode? Look at the question. What the second part of the question asks you to calculate?
Median.
The median. So when you calculate the median, it's going to be the nth plus 1 term, don't?
Yeah, just as
right. You're just seeing it, right? So that's why I allowed you to speak, because I recognize where you're going wrong. So you have to remember the difference between the mode and the median. So the median is what it is that you're looking for, the nth plus 1 term.
N plus 1 divided by 2.
2, right. So try that and then we'll talk back again.
All right.
Good.
Okay, sir. We see it now, sir.
Good job. And that's fine. This is where you ask the questions and you do your stock support and so on. All right, continue working. You're not finished it, you go.
Almost.
All right, good job. The one pass now come to class tonight. Pass, I mean pass Vex, you know. Alicia, what you do? You're yet to speak in class since the semester start. I know you're not gone, but you don't say nothing to me. Verbally, you sent something to me in the chat. Are you okay now? All right, she still not talk to me. All right, never mind.
All right, sir, I'm gonna tell you a little secret about me now. I'm afraid a big number when me get them in an answer. So I'm gonna think this right. So I'm gonna recheck. Miss Miss
You know, you are just a typical student. I have had some students in the past. Say, sir, we're not in the answer right. Why?
number
Sir,
too big.
they get 2,000, sir, and it look too big. I said, you're on the right track. So am I right? Yes. So just work with the number, like statistics now. You're working with big numbers. Just work with the stuff, man.
Miss Hall, can I tell you, man? Every time I get the big number, then I'm frightened, man.
Yeah, just work with it, man. You should be okay.
All right, sir.
Yeah, man. Dodin?
Yes, sir.
No, listen to me now. You have to open your mouth and talk to me, you know. We're not going to strain my ears. Can you all right, Asia, are you finished?
Not completely, sir. I'm doing the median part.
All right. All right, Dodin, I'll talk to you. We're gonna do this stuff and then your classmates will come through for you. As we try to do some explanation. I'm almost finished. I'm just trying to do a little calculation. I'll stop doing something. All right. All right. I give you another 2 minutes, all right? And then we'll come back. All right, I know we're supposed to finish. Asia, finish that, Mom?
So right now, me away from the answer because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Serious stuff, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Serious.
Oh, goodness. I never know say the hostility in Asia, honestly.
Asia,
Like,
are the big some trouble, not sure. But I
Serious,
get
man.
24 and
follow-
228.5.
what?
Mm.
All right. Okay, so let's start. Let's go through because maybe you and I are doing two different questions. So let's go through. Let's go through. So it did say that, and for Dowdin's sake, and Alicia too, because she has not really turned up yet per se. An environmentalist recorded the amount of time motorists spent in traffic at a location during peak hours on a Tuesday evening. The frequency distribution below summarizes the results. So they gave us some class. The class 0 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 11, 12 to 15, 16 to 19, 20 to 23, and 24 to 27. It gave us a frequency. And then, so between 0 to 3, there were 13 amount of time motorists spent in traffic. All right, during peak hours. All right, so it never tell me if it's minutes or hours. But 0 to 3 was 13. Then it says to determine the arithmetic mean of the time spent in traffic. Now, in a case like this, remember in the original question, I was able to do a calculation and then with my ungrouped data and then work the question with the group data. Don't have that luxury now because there's no ungrouped data. I don't know. It says there are 13 times within 0 to 3, that person spent in traffic, motorist spent in traffic. I don't know what those times were. Don't know what those times were. If it was 1 hour, 2 hour, or 3 hours, don't know. Or 1 minute, don't know. But it just said 13. Then now we're supposed to calculate the arithmetic mean. So you needed to expand 2 columns at a minimum in your table. What 2 columns were you needed to expand?
So the midpoint and FX.
The midpoint and FX. You know what? Yes. So let me just get my tablet and just write as I go along so that persons can see. I'm going to get the recording. They can see what it is that we're doing. So I'm just trying to make a quick connection. 1 minute, please. Put it here now. All right. So, oh dear, why am I not seeing? Okay, because I was wondering why I'm not seeing my stuff. Are you seeing my screen still?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And the lines being drawn.
Okay, great. All right, so this is I'm going to call this my midpoint, midpoint. And this is going to be my frequency times my midpoint. All right, so what's the midpoint between 0 and 3?
1.5.
Okay, I would agree. 3 divided by 2, 1.5. What's the midpoint between 4 and 7?
5.5.
5.5.
Good job, I agree. And next?
9.5.
Next?
13.5.
This is 9.5 minus. Next.
17.5.
Next.
21.5.
Next.
25.5.
All right. So you must get some marks there. All right. What was the sum of the frequency again?
47.
Yes, that's what I got when I added it. All right, now when I multiply the frequency by the midpoint, what you got?
19.5 for first. 49.5. 85.5. 108. 70. 64.5. And 25.5.
Okay, and what was the sum?
422.5.
Agreed, Asia?
No, sir.
Miss?
Yes, sir. I saw where I messed up.
Okay. All right, so that sounds correct. That's what I got when I did my rough calculation. So Asia, you saw where it is that you made an error. Error.
Yes, sir.
Dan, you figure out what it is that we've done so far?
Yes, sir. I'm following.
Right. So what would have done is over here is known as the lower boundary, and up here is known as the upper boundary. So what we do, add the lower boundary, 0 plus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 1.5. For example, 4 plus 7 over 2, 4 plus 7 is equal to 11 over 2 is equal to 5.5, and so forth and so on. So that's how we got the midpoint. All right? And that's why it's called estimated mean. That's why it's called the estimated mean that we're doing. This one does determine the arithmetic mean. Never put the word estimated, but it's really an estimation that we're doing. All right, and then the frequency now is just multiplying. Well, this column here is just multiplying the frequency by the midpoint times the midpoint. All right, so multiplying the frequency by the midpoint. And then we're finding the sum. All right, and then now the arithmetic mean, denoted by x bar, is going to be equal to the 422.5 divided by what?
47.
By the 47. And I'm going to end up with,
8.
we did agree, 8.98.
8, yep.
I can call that 989.
9, yeah.
Easy 5 marks, that you know? No, talk true. Was that difficult for 5 marks?
No.
And guess what? If them send a question like this year, run with it. Don't leave it alone. Just remember the columns that you need to have. What you need to do is spend time with your calculators. Make sure that you get the midpoints correct. Make sure that you get the frequency correct if you're doing the tallying, and make sure that your multiplication is correct. Make sure your table is correct. Spend the time and just work on the table to make sure that everything is correct on the table or within the table. And once you have those in, now, so your calculations must be on par. Pick up your marks. It's a 30-mark question, and we're gone 5 marks already. A 30-mark question, and we're gone 5 marks already. We're good to go. We're good to go. All right, Asia, waiting on you. You're with us now up to this point?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, good. Dan, are you keeping up?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Alicia,
Yes, sir.
you just a sneaky to the class and you call you not answer me,
Sir,
so.
I'm not asleep, sir.
Well, it sound like you're sleeping, number one. But I've
Yes,
been
sir.
calling
Sir,
you
may
know,
I have one something for my shoulder, sir?
take them off. Shake them off and come, man. You have to catch on to something. You have to catch on. A little bit of unum having another class. Make you answer in a great sheet with una failing. So come. Brush yourself off and come, man. Come. Yeah, about half an hour left. Just leave it off and then come. We do it and then you can go back. All right. So now that's question 1. And then now question 2. That was 1. Question 2 now. Ask us to do the calculate the mean.
Sir, median.
The median. Thank you. So I read the question again. I was just reading the question again and median. All right. So because it's a median, we have to go find the n plus 1 term. We have to find the n plus 1 term. N plus 1 term divided by 2.
Divided by 2.
What is n again?
The sum of the frequencies.
What is n?
N?
Uh-huh.
47.
Okay.
The sum of the frequencies, sir.
Yeah. Over 2,
2.
which is 48 over 2, which is
24.
24.
Sir, say something wrong.
Me never said, you hear me say me say wrong? Me just ask you a question and then after that, no, you pause and then you jump up again. Right? So 24 is correct. So you see, we're gone about 7 marks, right? This, you know. And we're going to catch the 10 marks. This is where the tire meets the road. What does that 24 represent? What do we need to do?
The class interval that has 24 in it.
Yeah. Which is the
Which would
closest
be
interval.
24 to 27.
Right. So this is where we need to have a conversation now.
Yeah. I think that's where I went wrong.
Mhm. So this is where we need to have a conversation.
Sir,
Yes.
just a quick question. For the upper boundary, they don't normally have like a point something on it.
Upper boundary. Yeah. Upper and lower has a 0.5. I'm trying to find something to share with you. Give me half a second, please. Oh, come on. Where is it? Okay. Go here. All right. I think getting it. Where is what it is that we looked at yesterday? We looked at.
Sir, quick
Yeah.
question. Is it that the the 24 be the closest to the individual frequency, which would be like 13 would be closer to 24 instead of 1?
13.
Yeah.
What's 13 talking about, Papa?
13 class, the first class. we have 13 responses here, or 13 tally. So is it that the tally should be
Which class boundary then we're supposed to be using?
0 to 3 then?
Right, very good.
But sir,
Oh.
if we use a 0 to 3, what would the lower boundary be? You wouldn't have a minus 0.5 from it.
Yes.
0.5.
Yes.
I'm a thing million wrong.
Oh goodness, maybe I need to ask you guys to share. Hold on, let me just look one more time. I know I sent, oh, I had put it in snaps. Yes, I had put it in snaps. Oh, God, I was wondering, I know I had it because I sent you Rockstone and that's not to know. Okay, I find it. I need to arrange this thing properly because I'm having a challenge with just finding what it is that I'm looking for. All right, let me just see if I can do a new share. Sorry, new share.
I'll say you can't have a negative, right?
Why not?
So it would have been negative 0.5.
Hold on a minute, please. Hold on a minute.
Asia, what you get? 0.5 plus 18.07. Asia.
Yes, sorry about that. So what were you saying again? No, was it Asia or Mikey? What you're saying something? Oh, So you recognize where it went wrong now, Mikey?
Yeah, so when I work it down now, I get 0.5 plus 18.076. Not even
Okay.
exactly right.
All right. So let us go back to something first, though. And for me to show you exactly what it is that you're doing. And I want all of you to look here so that you don't make that mistake again. Come on, where is a pen? Okay. So you remember right here. You remember N. Remember N. N is the number of terms, which is 16. So remember N is equal to 16. So that's how we have this 16 here plus 1, don't it?
Yes, sir.
And the 16 is referring to the frequency, not the class interval, but the frequency. So when we're looking at that and we work it out and we get 8.5, we need to look at the frequency. It's not the class that we're looking at. So we need to look at the frequency. So when we look at the frequency, we recognize that 8.5, this is closest to our 8.5. So therefore, because it's closest to our 8.5, our boundary that we want is going to be the 60 to 69. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me go back now to the past paper. Tell me if you're seeing it.
Yes, we're seeing it.
All right, good. So let me just change the color here. So what is happening is this 47 is referencing our frequency. All right. So what we need to do now is to look at our frequency, add it to 1, and then we're getting something called 24. So when we look into our frequency, we not recognize which is closest to 24.
13.
The 13. So it means that this has to be the boundary the class boundary that we're looking in. That has to be the class boundary that we're interested in. Fair enough, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
good. All right, so oh, that's when Benica reached class. I know Benica. No? All right, so let's go. So now, what we have for question, for the other part of the question now, is to plug into the formula. So again, so we know our lower boundary is going to be negative 0.5, don't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's negative 0.5 plus, remember we're going to have the n over 2, so it's 47 over 2,
2
and then we're going to
minus 0.
minus, is it 0 again minus?
Yeah, because there's nothing above before it.
All right, so let us go, so let us, above the 4, which 4 are you talking about?
No, above the 13, there's no frequency above the 13. Before the 13.
Yes, sir. That's where I stop.
I can't find what it is that I'm looking at. I want to show you something, so Mikey. No, that's not what I'm looking for.
Sir, remember I said the B is before the term that you are working with.
Mm-hmm.
Before G. So B is actually before G. G is the frequency.
I did.
Yeah, and W is these are the boundary.
What we calculate in the median?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So remember now, we're using it as a teachable moment now, all right? So when we look at it right here, this value B
Sir, you're not showing anything.
Oh, I knew that. Let me just go and share my screen. And I need to share, Lord Jesus, this one, I think. Yeah. So the B here is going to be above the frequency in question, right?
Yes, sir. Which will be 13. And in
Which
this
would be
case, it's 7.
right. So in this case, it's going to be this value right here.
7, yeah. So it will be 1.
It will be 1. Good. And then now, let me go back to the past paper. Let me just, there was a nice little button on the other computer that says share this one instead. And I'm not seeing that on this system. Good. So what value is above this value here? Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, we're seeing the screen, but which value are you pointing
Not the
to?
first one, not the first one.
So remember we said n over 2, and then we're minusing b from it.
Yeah.
What is the value of b? You were suggesting something, Mikey. What are you suggesting?
0.
Right. So that's what I'm asking. So I'm asking, is there a value up top here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right. So we don't have a value up here to
To
subtract
minus.
from, to minus
Yeah.
from, right? Because this is the start of the stuff. And then this is going to be divided by what now?
By 13.
By the 13.
Then multiply by 10.
No,
Why not, sir?
multiply by 11.
11?
Multiply by, not 11, multiply by 4, sorry.
Oh. Because I see.
You see why it is 4?
Yes,
From
sir.
0 to 3 so much.
It's actually 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Jerry, what?
From 0 to 3 is 4. You remember asking that question last night? Not last night, the night before?
Yes, sir. Right.
Asia, you see?
Yes, sir.
Dan.
No, sir.
All right. So we have a lower limit and we have an upper limit. So the explanation I gave to them was we have a decimal system that is
You
from
mean the 0 to like 3.5 or something like that?
like the negative 0.5 to 3.5.
Yeah.
When it come from negative 0.5 to 3.5, how much you get? So 4, no?
Or
What is 23.5 to 27.5? 23.5, 24.5, 25.5, 26.5, 27.5. What is 19.5 to 23.5?
4.
So the width of the class is 4.
okay. Okay.
The width of the class is 4. All with me so far?
Yes, sir. So far.
Yes, sir. So far.
All right, good job. As you see, I'm taking my time because what I want you to do is to make sure that you're understanding what is happening. I understand why we have the 13 in the denominator because that is our group frequency, right? So 47 divided by 2 is how much again?
23.5.
23.5. 47 divided by 3 is 23.5. So I'm going to have negative 0.5 plus 23.5 over 13 times 4.
Times 4. Mhm.
And what is 23.5 times 4?
94.
Right. And what is 94 divided by 13?
7.23.
So it's going to be minus 0.5 plus 7.23. I got 6.73.
That's what I got now.
Right. And that's it. So the median time of motorists in the in traffic is 6.73. It didn't tell us if it's the information, and I'm looking at the information again. It didn't tell us if it is hours or minutes or seconds or milliseconds, but it just tell us the time motorists spent in traffic. So whatever time that is, the middle time that they spent in traffic was 6.73, whatever it is. Do you think that worked the 10 marks?
Yeah, I only variety.
I think so too. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to be able to get from this a level of understanding. So what I will do is to make a summary. Mikey alluded to it earlier. No, so remember, B is a value above the group frequency. In the question that we did before, the value above the group frequency was
1.
Was 1. So that's what we'd have subtracted from the 47/2, right? So what it suggests is that he was able to write something down. So what I want you to do is to make a summary. So you know that if you get the frequency to calculate the mean or the median or whatever it is, that you know exactly what it is that you need to do, right? So if you can do that, you should be good to go. Let me pause here, because this would have been a nice time for me now to calculate the variance and then the standard deviation. But I am not going to do that just yet because it's going to need a little time to explain. Now, hold up. It appears as if the question was long just now because I recognize what I was doing is to go through the question, and because we have two persons who really wasn't with us before. So I wanted to do all of that. So it is important that you're going through this stuff because it's really not difficult. Matter of fact, let me project part 3. Part 3 is for 9 marks. With the aid of an appropriate statistical diagram, determine the modal value of time spent in traffic. What
Draw either a line graph or a histogram.
I would say more. No, I would say more histogram. It says with the aid of an appropriate. So it is.
Yeah.
It is 1, not 2, but 1. Just 1 diagram they want. It says with the aid of an appropriate statistical diagram, determine the modal value of the time spent in traffic. So what they want, they could have asked you to calculate the mode, but they want the mode to be calculated now using the statistical diagram, or the histogram, right? So I would use the histogram. Why the histogram? Because you know negative 0.5 to 3.5, you subtract 0.5 from 4, you're going to get 3.5. You add 0.5 to 7, you're going to get 7.5. You subtract 0.5 to 8, you're going to have 7.5. So you see that there's no gaps. You follow what I'm saying right there?
Yes, sir.
You are no gap. So do me a favor. We have 5 minutes. See if you can do a rough histogram of that for me, please. No, guys. How many marks this in total?
19.
19 marks.
19.
Talk truth. You passed the course already, you know. Well, I mean, you passed this question already. You have another question to done. And I'm telling you, there are some must-have questions. Like you had must-have for Kramers, you have must-have questions on these papers. This is one of the must-haves. So do me a favor. Quickly do the histogram for me. Quick and fast. And we take it from there.
Sir, put it in another group, sir.
That would make sense.
Don't laugh off of my joints.
No, man. No, man. We're here to learn, man. And we're going to critique it. So we must tell you, so don't feel no way when we start critique the stuff. And you will get an opportunity to critique the others too. Wait there. Mikey, wait there.
Sir, I'm bad with statistics, that's all. I have to say. My
Ah.
understanding is to use the class and the frequency to create the table.
No problem.
So I'm not sure if I should use the f of x data or the midpoint data.
All of you look at this some of this. All right, so so let me answer the question now. Do you think you're supposed to use the f of x data or the midpoint data? Which one do you think you're supposed to use? The frequency. What was the question? Using the f of x or the frequency? That's what you asked?
Yes, sir. If all right, what I did was to use the class and frequency, but I was thinking if it would be best to use the class and either the midpoint or the f of x. I'm not so sure.
No, the midpoint will be on the graph. You can't pick up the midpoint on the graph. So you will have the midpoint going to be equidistant on either side from the graph. So that's fine. So based on what it is that you've done, it looks okay because those lines on the x-axis, the little strokes on the x-axis looks to me like the midpoints. True or false?
True.
Yeah. And then you did the frequency, which would be correct. It would be the frequency times x times the midpoint.
Okay.
Right. So remember, you're looking at the mode. The mode is what occurs most frequently, don't?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can't, so it's a frequency, you have to use it. Frequently, frequency. So you have to look at the frequency. No, so you plot the graph. So they're giving you marks, lots of marks to plot the graph. So the graph, because you're getting lots of marks to plot the graph you must label the x-axis as class width or class or group or class. You must label the y-axis as your frequency. You must have a title for the graph because them does not really 9 marks like that. And then now you're gonna have how many class we had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, but so why you have 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can have your right. You can have your 7 classes there to your 7 classes going on there to for the stuff. So you see, it's justified because right about then you have only per mark. So my question to you, what is the mode? When it's on
The one 9 is the one that appears more frequent.
So them ask you to use the diagram. What the question says? The question says to, with the aid of an appropriate statistical diagram, determine the modal value of the time spent in traffic. how many modes this data have?
Oh,
2. So the modal value would be 4 to 7 and 8 to 11. Then, sir, you know, could I look on the table and tell you that, yeah, but the man them say they want to do, they want to draw a statistical diagram. And having drawn the statistical diagram, them say they want to use that to show it. Follow me?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
So, sir, what if you work it out?
Come out of my headspace now. So my next question now for homework is that I want you to work it out. You're right up into my headspace.
The estimated mode.
Yes. So that is going to be your homework. We're
I was
4 minutes.
I was just working it. I was like, you know, someone needs to try this.
Yeah, and all of them in my headspace. So what I want you to do for homework for me is to calculate the estimated mode, and then we're gonna have a conversation on it. And this is not a waste of time, but it's to help us now to appreciate more what is happening here. This is pretty good. This is what, the second week of school, and we already in past papers. Excellent. So congrats. Do the calculation for me, and then we can have further conversations on it. All right. As soon as this recording becomes like, by the way, anybody look up on the recordings yet? They are up.
No,
They are
sir.
up. They are up. They are
Sir,
up. So
to be honest with you, I try to learn everything in a class and take notes. I don't have to or for read over, watch over recording.
and that makes sense too. That makes a lot of sense. So, but the recordings are up nonetheless. So see what you can do from that, man. We'll continue on what, Tuesday? Tuesday next week, God's willing.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Pick up yourself later.
Have a safe weekend.
You too, Papa. All the best,
Hi,
guys.
sir.
Bye-bye, my love.